In today's video, we're going to talk about the best artificial intelligence in the world, which is scaring all the other companies. It's called FLUX KONTEXT. Is it better than Midjourney, Rodrigo? Andy, is it better than ChatGPT? And is it better than Google's Imagen 4? And to start off, leave a comment below. Do you already use any image AI to boost your productivity, to create memes, or to make money, which is the most important? Let's go straight to my computer screen. Just one thing, I put this image here in the background. It wasn't random, it's from FLUX KONTEXT. Basically, you create this image here, and then you ask it to remove this part of her face, and it does. Then you ask to put her on a street, and here she is. Then you ask to put her somewhere where it's snowing, like me here, for example, and you simply type it in, and the image is changed consistently. It's the same woman. That's what this company, this artificial intelligence from Black Forest, FLUX KONTEXT, is capable of doing. Let's go straight to my computer screen. I brought a video from a channel that I've really been enjoying watching lately. I'll leave the link at the end so you can also follow his channel, which is really good, William's channel. Okay, so let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Artificial intelligence, this one here is the first link in the description, okay? And then, yeah, you can get started by logging in with Google. You start with 200 credits, okay? 200 credits lets you generate quite a lot of images, all right? I generated a lot, edited several images, lots of things. However, you can actually use it infinitely for free by using an email generator. I'll explain that more towards the end, but first, let's test out the artificial intelligence. I'm going to click here on Edit, which is where we'll upload our image and ask it to make whatever changes we want or add things anyway.
Rodrigo, what does he mean by edit? With editing, what actually happens? In the past, we would create an image and edit it, for example, in Photoshop, which has always been the standard. But the edits we're going to see here would first require an intermediate to advanced level of knowledge. Besides that, every change we're going to make here in just a few seconds would have taken hours, sometimes a whole day or even days, depending on how many changes you wanted to make. Here, you do it in just a few seconds. So you edit images by having a conversation, by writing, by saying, look, I want to change the background. Look, I want to add a scarf. Now I want it to snow. That's how it works. Quite simply, of course, the more skillfully and thoughtfully you write, the better and more impressive the result will be. Let's take a look here.
Here we upload the image we want. In my case, I'm going to upload the image of my model here, generated by AI. And this is where you describe what you want her to do. In this case, in the prompt, I'm going to write that she's taking a selfie at the beach, smiling, wearing a swimsuit. Let's see if it can generate that. I'll click here on generate. And the coolest thing of all is also the speed at which it generates things. It generates 4 variations, as you can see here. And it does it really fast too, without having to wait in line. Look, it's already generated. And look at the quality here.
And look at the quality and also the consistency. Check it out. It didn't change. It's the same woman. The main challenge for artificial intelligences is generating the same person. Usually it generates someone similar with the same features, young, red-haired, attractive, similar clothing, but it's not exactly the same. Here, it's exactly the same. Another thing you might not realize is that William here went into edit mode. So he started with editing, but you can generate right here as well. In fact, FLUX, which is already well known here on the channel and is what I use, FLUX is on par with or even better than Midjourney when it comes to generation. The difference with FLUX is that you can download it to your computer. It's open source, or you can pay for a subscription if you don't have a powerful enough machine to generate it yourself. But he started in edit mode, okay? In the generation section. By the way, this editing feature is one of the main things that sets FLUX KONTEXT apart.
It generates 4 variations. I'll pick, for example, this first one here so we can take a look. Look at how insane this is. You can see here, let's compare them side by side right away. You can see that the consistency remains really good. Check it out. It's really the same model here. As you can see, the same hairstyle, the same face, but it's a different location with a different expression. Look, it generated other variations here as well. Here's another variation. This one turned out really good as well. Let's check out another variation here.
Now, if you want to create that Instagram influencer, you know, a beautiful woman, you can, for example, have her at the gym, or you can have her eating something, or perhaps going on trips, traveling, and so on. And then, obviously, you can generate the video using some tool like HiLumini Max, Runway, or Google's VO3, which we've already made some videos about here on the channel. Today, it's the main artificial intelligence tool. In fact, I made a video today. I made a video last week. It's amazing, right? Here, Flux Contest is the best for images and Google VO3 for now is the best for video.
You can see that it's just insane, man, what this AI is capable of doing. Well, now I said she's wearing a red dress in a restaurant. Let's see what it's going to generate. I'm curious. Well, as you can see, it's finished. Look at this, man. Simply insane. In this case, I didn't ask it to give her any facial expression or any pose either. That's why she's standing so straight like that, because I didn't specify anything about the pose or facial expression. You can see that the consistency is really good, man. If I had asked, for example, to make her talking or to make her smiling or to give her a different pose, it would have done that too. But in this case, I just left her standing straight like this just so we could.
That's where the importance of writing well comes in. When you don't write anything, like she ends up with a face like just staring into space, right? You have to be like the boss of the company. You have an employee, which in this case is the artificial intelligence, who knows everything. But if you don't give proper instructions, it won't deliver a good result. If you're a film director, for example, if you don't direct the actor has the skill. But if you don't direct the actor properly, if you don't say what you want, what you expect from them, that's how it ends up. Look at the difference. Here, there was direction C. She's looking deeply. Her neck is kind of tilted and everything. You can see a soul here, an essence, a sense of direction. But here, no, here is kind of soulless, right? But that's because the person, it's not the artificial intelligence. It's the person who didn't give the correct command, which in this case is the prompt. Now, what's interesting is that you can use this artificial intelligence, as I said, to create influencers on Instagram. There are influencers with thousands of followers, and then you can do the work like in a much easier way, right? And also in a more profound way, so to speak. What do I mean? Well, you create an account on Instagram, start posting about her daily life, start gaining an audience, getting followers, and then brands will start reaching out to you, right? There have already been several influencers who have done commercials for Porsche, commercials for BYD, commercials for BMW, commercials for Nike, for example, right? Like at the gym wearing the clothes and everything, and these are AI influencers. Then later on, you can, well, this does have to be on your computer. Of course you can if you want to. Maybe just take some adult photos, perhaps something a little bit more on the spicy side. You know, if you get what I mean, you can put a link there to sell these photos and post them on OnlyFans, on that more adult-oriented social network, right? You know what I mean? In other words, these are ideas to monetize this kind of content, right? That's a tip I give in my mentoring sessions, okay?
Test it out. And we can see the level of consistency this AI can achieve, as well as the speed at which it can create. All right, let's do another test here. Let's suppose you have an image and you want to remove the watermark from it, which would be the logos that are here. I'm going to upload the image here, and here I'll tell it like this: remove the watermark from this image. That's all I'm going to put. Here, for the number of images to generate, I'll set it to 2. Well, as you can see, man, it's just insane. It completely removed the watermark. It generated 2 variations, just like I asked. So
yeah, I'm not saying whether this is right or wrong, but everyone has come across, for example, wanting to use an image for a thumbnail or something like that, and then you see that watermark. I'm not recommending it, right? I'm just showing it here on the screen. But you can see what this artificial intelligence is capable of, right? What you could do is like change the pose a little, right? Tell it to turn to the other side, something like that, right? At least so you can say it's a different photo, right?
As you can see, it completely removed the watermark, keeping the entire image and all its features intact. It didn't change anything, okay? This is insane. But, my friend, if you think that's all, I put this really cool logo here called Rebel. That's the name. And I'm going to ask it to change the word Rebel to William, okay? Which is my name. I'm going to click here to generate, and let's see what it does, if it can really pull it off. Well, as you can see, look how cool this is. You can see there was a little mistake, like here, for example, right after the N. But aside from that, look how well done this is, man. It came out exactly as I asked, which is my name. I could easily fix this in Photoshop, okay?
Guys, we don't make logos the old way anymore. All the logos for my company are made with artificial intelligence. The last ones we've done. Before, we used to pay someone, and we've even provided logo design services ourselves. And we used to charge, up until a year ago, $100 to create a logo like this, which now we can make in a few minutes, something that used to take days. Of course, you still need to have some knowledge, good taste, and you have to understand the essence of the company to create a logo for it. But if you do understand, you don't need to have artistic skills. You just need to understand and know how to translate that into words. So I've already given you the possibility to make money with air influencers. I've already given you the idea to monetize with logos. and I have a mentorship program called Master Monetization with Artificial Intelligence, where I teach you how to build up to 10 sources of income. If you already have a business, I'll teach you how to plug artificial intelligence into your business so you can do more, do it better, in less time, and with lower costs. If you don't have a business yet, I'll help you build one. How will I help you? By guiding you with my more than 10 years of experience in the internet field. And I've been working with artificial intelligence for about 3 years now. All right? Continuing here with the video, let's get back to it.
Look, this little detail that it missed here at the end, that's really simple. All right, coming back here again. Now, what did I do? I came here to add again, and I put in this classic photo of Ayrton Senna. And then, what am I going to ask it to do? I'll put the following in the prompt. I told it, extract his red jacket, place it on a white background as if it were a product photo. I put it here, and now I'm going to have it generate 4 images, and I'll click on generate to see if it can actually do this, right? Well, as you can see, man, look how insane this is. Man, it's simply amazing. Look, it extracted Senna's classic jacket, and you can see it turned it into a product photo exactly as I asked. And as you can see here, look, let's compare them side by side. Let's take the classic photo of Senna from Brazil. And look at this, man. You can see that all the details of his classic jacket are kept very consistent. Even the little OMP detail is here. And here, look, the little Brazilian flag man. Look how consistent this is.
If there's anyone who's a professional in Photoshop or another editing application, comment below what the difficulty was in doing this in the program before artificial intelligence.
Man, look, tell me, this isn't impressive, dude. This is just crazy. Well, let's do another test here. Now, this one is going to be interesting because we're going to see if it's good at character consistency. So I uploaded a photo of this character here, generated by AI, right? And here in the prompt, I told it the following. I said, I want her sitting on a motorcycle, posing for a photo at the beach. And now I'm going to click generate so we can see if it will be able to maintain all the consistency of this character here, the clothes, the hairstyle, everything. Well, as you can see, it turned out just insane. You can see that it keeps all the consistency of the character, like putting them side by side so we can compare. Look at all the consistency, the glasses, the hair, the hairstyle, the eyes. The clothes, everything is consistent, but
what's interesting for you to do here, it turned out perfect. Like out of 10, it's a 9.5. The thing is to direct the expression as well, right? She even tilted her head a bit to the side here, even held it like this, you see? It's perfect like this. But if you can, right? Say, change the expression, say that she's smiling, something so it doesn't look like you just cut out her head and pasted it here. That happens a lot. So you have to explain the whole positioning, what her position is, what her expression is, whether she's happy, whether she's sad, where she's looking, and so on.
Just like I asked, which is her posing for a photo on top of a motorcycle. You can request whatever prompt you want, improve the prompt. Well, looking here at another test, this test is going to be really good. I put this image, this drawing of a scorpion here, and then I asked it like this, extract the drawing, right? This drawing, this image, and make it as if it were a tattoo on a man's back. Let's click here to generate, and man, I'm really curious to see if it's going to be able to do it, you know? Well, as you can see here, wow.
Guys, just imagine someone who's a tattoo artist. I have a tattoo, but since I'm wearing like 40 layers here, it's cold. It's cold here. The funniest thing, just as an aside, is that I don't actually have this painted on my wall, right? I'm using a chroma key, but since I'm wearing a green jacket, the green ends up becoming transparent. Then you might say, well, shouldn't your skin be showing up then? It should look like you're almost shirtless, right? But I'm actually wearing a gray jacket underneath, so what you're seeing is kind of almost the color of the jacket underneath, right? That's just a little fun fact about chroma key. But getting back to the topic, imagine for a tattoo artist being able to take a photo of a real person or generate one here with artificial intelligence, whatever the case, and place the tattoo right on the skin so you can see beforehand how the design will look before you get a tattoo that's going to last a lifetime or almost a lifetime if you want to remove it with a laser, right? So the applicability is just amazing, right? It's not just memes, it's not just little drawings, it's not just hype. This is really useful.
Dude, what is this, man? Look at this. That's amazing, man. It's exactly the same design, but here, just like I asked, a tattoo on the man's back. Wow, look at the texture on this, man. Man, this is just crazy, dude. So let me ask you, why would you need Photoshop now? It doesn't make sense to use Photoshop anymore, man. Doing this in Photoshop is a lot of work. I can do it, for example, but here you do it with just one click, you know? Well, in this test, I used a really old black and white photo. Yeah, colorize this image. I'm going to click on generate here so we can see if it really colors this black and white image as if it were a current photo, right? Wow, man.
Guys, my in-laws and my parents were so happy to take a photo, some old photos that back then, you know, didn't even have color, right? Camera well, I have one, right? I'm about to turn 41. I'm 40 now, right? I still got to, not that one, not from my time, but I did hold an old camera in my hands, okay? A real black and white one. My dad had one. Then we moved on to those Kodak cameras and all that. Comment below if you know what I'm talking about back when every photo really mattered, right? Because now you can take unlimited photos with your phone, but back then it was filmed with 24, I think 36, 48 shots, something like that. Yeah, every photo really counted, right? So in other words, not only can you colorize photos, but also restore photos that are crumpled, torn, or stained. These artificial intelligences are getting better and better at that. Here, it's perfect.
What is this, man? This is really impressive, dude. Look at this, man. Tell me, dude, it's just insane. And this is just the beginning, okay? Imagine the AIs that are coming next. To make this test even better, what am I going to do here? Well, now I'm curious, huh? I ask it here. Colorize this photo again. Is it called colorization? I think so, right? And I ask like this. And make them at the beach.
One important note here, folks. You're hearing me in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German on my channels, okay? Since Flux's artificial intelligence operates in English, we usually use the native language. So you can see that this YouTuber is Brazilian, but he writes the prompt in English. So if you're in a German-speaking country or in a Spanish-speaking country or in Brazil or Portugal, write your prompt in English and you'll get great results. Now, more and more artificial intelligences are understanding all languages, so it's possible for you to use your own language and still get a good result. What usually happens is that it takes your language, for example, Spanish, translates it into English, and then executes the same thing. German. The AI translates it into English first and then processes it. And it's in this translation process that sometimes the result isn't as good. So if you input it directly in the native language, it turns out better.
Click here on generate. Man, now I'm curious, dude, if it's gonna put them on the beach, because this image is really complex. There are a lot of people, a lot of information. I want to see if it's going to manage to put them on the beach. Now I doubt it. No way, man. What is this, man? This can't be real. Look at this, guys. Can you believe something like this? No. Hold on. Look at this here.
Guys, it kept the consistency all the way up to the guy up here, colored it, and even put it in a different setting. How insane is that? And you can connect this with video generation. Why? Because nowadays you can generate video in three main ways, right? Either you generate it from text, you write what you want, or you generate it from video to video, which is great, or you generate it from image to video. In other words, the better the image, you know, it has the potential to result in a better animation. So if you combine the best image AI, which is FLUX KONTEXT, with Google's best, which is VO3, just imagine the explosion. Now I want to hear from you. Were you impressed by this quality? Do you want to try it out? I'll leave the link in the description. While I'm recording this video, you can generate more than 50 images for free. If you want to stick with me and check out the very best and most advanced video AI, I'll leave this link right here for you so you can absolutely keep going with me. All right, okay. I'll see you in that next video, and I can't wait to have you join me there. See you soon.